What up? All right. So I don't know if you can tell, I'm excited about talking about more Star Wars. Hey guys, what's up? I'm RuthAnn Thompson, part of GeekChic Promotions, and this is Ruse Day Tuesday. And as you guess, we're going to talk about some Star Wars, specifically The Last Jedi. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I would suggest not watching this because I'm going to try not to do any spoilers, but I can't promise the commenters won't. So, let me just take this over really quick. All right, so I'm super excited because this movie, I've already seen it twice. I've seen it in 3D, I've seen it in 2D. I'm going to go see it in IMAX 7mm. It's going to be very excited. But there's been a lot of differing feelings about this movie. I have never seen geeks be more separated on a subject of Star Wars ever. Because we have people that are not only hating it, they're going on Rotten Tomatoes. So I don't know if you guys saw, but on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a audience, their voting system has made it so the audience their rating is the lowest of any Star Wars movie ever. That includes the terrible, terrible prequels. Oh no. Okay, so on top of that, right, there's a petition, I don't know if you guys have seen, going around to have this movie, The Last Jedi, removed from canon. That's even possible. Just don't, we've already had the terrible prequels. Do what I do. I just pretend it doesn't exist. But also, The Last Jedi isn't a terrible movie. I'm sorry to all you nerds, because I had a bunch of fan theories, we all did, of who Rey was, who was Snoke. So many different things that did not pay off in this movie, and kind of on purpose. So I'm sorry. So again, if you haven't seen the movie, probably don't watch this. I'm going to try not to spoil, but I'll get very heated, and I'm sure people will comment, and the spoilers will ensue. Speaking of commenters, let me share this around so everybody can see what I'm talking about. So, alright, so hopefully everybody that's watching this has seen the Star Wars. The last one. It's great. I had a lot of fun. Again, I don't think it's quite as good as the last one of The Force Awakens, because I rewatched that and I realized that is a perfect movie and I enjoy it thoroughly, but I still had an awesome time going to go see Star Wars in theaters. I went to the midnight showing, got way too excited, said a lot of things out loud in the theater. Everybody who watched it with me can attest. I'm very animated when I watch stuff. But it's super fun. It opens the way all of them should, and it followed the Star Wars stuff. Now, I feel that this movie was them being like, well, fine, you didn't like Force Awakens because it was too similar to A New Hope, so we're going to do something completely different. They did something completely different, and you all hated it. But I enjoyed it. I liked the stuff of there's a new planet that gets involved, and we start talking about the type of people that make profit off of the war versus, the rebels versus, resistance, whatever you want to call them, versus the First Order. So I thought that was very interesting. Some people did not like that. I would have preferred if it was more practical. That would have been nice. I'm all about the practical. Just like this Porg. Porgs is another issue. I think Porgs are adorable. I like the story behind Porgs. They had to create something to cover up all the puffins that were on the island. So then you get Porgs. Were there too many in The Last Jedi? Probably, but I'm still okay with it. So it's another hard thing because the theme of this is not only people learning from failure, the characters learning from failure specifically, but just in general, it's out with the old, in with the new. So I can see why fans don't like that, but we have to grow from something, and anything's better than those prequels. Can we talk about Jar Jar Binks? Y'all are mad that you didn't like what they did with Luke Skywalker. Can we talk about Jar Jar Binks? No, it's terrible. Everybody settle down. Goodness. So I am not on board with, obviously, the hate that this movie is getting. I enjoyed it thoroughly, hence I'm seeing it a third time. What are other people's problems with it or things that you liked about it? Go to town, because there's so much stuff that I loved. There's stuff that I was missing because rewatching The Force Awakens, Finn was such an amazing character. He was such a mess. He was such a just chatterbox, saying everything wrong and being way too just Finn-like. But what I miss is I missed his whole thing, and I missed, like, even Rey's character. No, Gary, we're not going to talk about Jar Jar. No matter how much you love him, no. And I know you're just saying that to get me all amped up. No Jar Jar, ever. Sorry, I'm trying to share now with friends. So what else about this movie did I love and other people just weren't on board for? So there is more CGI in this. And we don't get, but there still is a ton of practical. Like, there's still a lot of the same landscapes, some of the same creatures that we've seen before. There's some parts that they missed. There's one cameo that me and a few people have discussed that really needed to happen, and it didn't. And there's a scene, and you'll all know what scene it was, that Lando 100% should have been in and wasn't, and it's very frustrating. But that being said, it's still lots of fun. Okie day. I will end you, Gary. Don't start. Don't you start with that. But, geez, it's hard to not spoil this. So we go to different planets, we see a lot, and we get a new character introduced, which is Rose, and everybody's been super excited. I was really excited at the 50th anniversary when they did the panel with her, and she was super stoked. And I think the character was very necessary, because we didn't have somebody who worked, like, on the, kind of like, just a Joe Schmo worker for the Rebels. And it was really fun seeing her side of things, because we've only seen, like, the princesses and the generals and this, that, the other. We haven't seen, like, and the hotshot pilots and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun seeing, like, just your average, like, she works on pipes all day, you know. So she's very, very fun. Get ready for that. What else is very fun about this movie? There is some incredible action sequences. I don't want to spoil them, but they're so good. And it's stuff that, like, the director still does pay very good homage to the originals and even to J.J. Abrams. But he definitely, you could tell he's like, oh, you thought you know where this person came from? Never mind, not from there. Or that doesn't matter. Like, literally just throws stuff away. There is a cameo that comes up from an original character from the original series that is amazing. And it really, it brought back the heart of that character that we might have lost in the prequels. Again, no spoilers. But I do highly suggest to go see this movie. This movie is 2.5 hours long. It surprised me. I did not realize the 2.5 hours had already passed, but it's an amazing thing. I don't see anything being cut. There's a specific storyline that a lot of people see is being cut with our boy Finn and Rose, and I don't think so. Let me know what you think. I adored it. I thought it was a really great way of seeing a little bit more of Finn, and a great way of seeing a little bit more of the world that we are in now, like 60 years later or 30, 40, 50 years later from what we knew as the original Star Wars. So I loved it. I'm definitely looking forward to J.J. Abrams coming back. And here's another thing that I feel like a lot of nerds aren't thinking of when they get all angry about the fact that this is so different from J.J. Abrams' one is, yes, J.J. Abrams was a very hard fanboy. He loves Star Wars, and he made the best fan film ever with The Force Awakens. Now, because of how much we need things instantly, like, we have to have it a year or 2 years later, but these movies are epic. They take time. Like, give them a little time off. Like, he was burned out. I bet if we gave him another year to, like, chill out before starting up the next one, he would have been totally fine doing number 7, which I feel like, or number 8, like, counting fingers. He would have been totally fine doing number 8, but because of, like, the monstrosity that is the Star Wars, like, legacy and needing to sell the toys and the this and the that, like, we had to push him so much faster, and he needed to take a movie off, and now y'all are mad because it's not him doing it again. So should have just been patient and let him have, like, another year, rest up, get his stuff together, just not burn out, do the next movie. But luckily, guess what? He's back for number 9. So I'm really looking forward to what he does. If the only thing I'm concerned that he might do, because this last director changed so many things that you could tell J.J. Abrams set up, is if when J.J. Abrams come back, he's like, retconning it again! What? Now it's doing this! Huzzah! It's like, wait, it's too much. You can't keep changing things back and forth. We can't, us fans can't handle it. But, yeah, that's, what else can I say without spoiling stuff? There's a weird romance that I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really think it was necessary, and I didn't really like it. It felt a little bit forced, because I think there's no other romance really going on in this movie. So they try to like shoehorn in like one little smoochy smooch, and you're just like, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I like that one. But all in all, I think it's a super fun movie. There are a lot of plot holes, and I keep trying to go back and rewatching it to try to like fill them in. And there's some time discrepancies that are very annoying. And going back and rewatching The Force Awakens, it flows so perfectly. Like shot for shot, it's amazing. And the detail that like the type of lenses he used for the specific scenes and all that kind of stuff to make sure it fit the old 70s stuff, but while still looking brand new, was just the detail. You could tell he's a fanboy. But I cannot wait for this director's behind the scenes photography book to come out. I want it. I wish it was ready to come out for Christmas, because I want it in my stocking. It looks amazing. All those dark black and white stuff that he was taking, all that kind of stuff looks so cool. But again, comment below if you guys have any like issues or what you guys thought. Oh, okay, so sorry, I missed your comment, Nick. So Nick says he better not Into Darkness the shit either. Okay, to be fair, J.J. Abrams was never a Star Trek fan, and the only reason he picked up Star Trek is because he's always wanted to do Star Wars, and he obviously, I mean, with the first movie, it was obvious he just wanted to do Star Wars. But, yeah, Into Darkness, I still don't know all the reasons why they did what they did on that one. I don't think he would. Honestly, I don't think J.J. Abrams, because J.J. Abrams is too much a fanboy for Star Wars. I think he's going to do his best to do another perfect fan film for number 9. The thing I am concerned about is what they're going to do with Princess Leia, because obviously, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, we don't have her anymore, and they wrote it to have her be like the star of the next one. So I don't know how they're going to do it and like pay homage, because I go back and forth, right? What do you guys think? Would you want to see kind of a CG version of her, at least to like lead the way out, or would you rather her just written off and not see her come back at all in number 9? Like just have it be like a line that they say that, or like it starts off on a funeral or something of, you know, Princess Leia. Like, how would you guys want it to go? Because for me, I think I wouldn't want a CG version of her. But what's adorable, and I don't know if you guys saw this that went around online, but they brought Gary the dog, her dog, to the screening of it, and every time Carrie Fisher was on screen, he would like get all excited and like perk up whenever he saw Carrie. And it makes me sad, and it's very sweet and makes me happy at the same time. I don't know. It's not good. All right, so Gary also says, also I blame the writers of Into Darkness. It's a well-made movie, but the story is shit. That's true. Honestly, the story is not great, but it still looked beautiful, and it was still well directed, I would say. So, and with The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams had an amazing team. I mean, the writing, the oh gosh, his DP, the cinematography is perfection in that movie. So I don't know if that's the team he usually goes with, but he should always go with that team, because that was incredible. Okay, so Nick just said they wouldn't CGI her, fairly certain they will stick to it. I would assume they would. Gosh, I hope they would, because that would be, I don't know. I didn't even like the CGI actors in Rogue One. To me, I felt like I was watching an Xbox like video game, like the between scenes. It just felt a little, I don't like it. Maybe it's because like our, you know, maybe I'm just too picky about my CGI versus practical. I don't know, maybe. But yes. All right. So what else about The Last Jedi that I can say that won't spoil the movie? So you get some awesome Luke. And if you are a Kylo Ren fan, this is your movie. This is your movie. This is your movie. Goodness gracious. On all levels of being a fan. If you're a fangirl for him, or if you just think he is so badass, you're going to like this movie. There's a lot of growth for him and a lot of badassery. I mean, there's some awesome stuff. And there are some interesting things that the Force does in this movie that you might feel is too much. but I'm okay with it because the Force is a part of everything. So it's really, there's not that many limits to it, but there is something that happens in it that's so cool. But part of you, even though you know it's a mythical like power force, you're like, can they actually do that? That feels too much. No, I don't know, but it's pretty great. I'm trying to think. I don't want to. No, I can't say that he's in the movie because I feel like that gives something away. But there's a well-known actor that plays a character, and that's another whole issue that we need to discuss if people have watched it and are okay with discussing it with me. Yes, as Nicholas proclaims, sweet 8-pack, and that's in reference to a Kylo Ren scene. So I think you can guess what happens there. Very quite good. It's good. It's a good scene. It's good. There's good amount of Rey. There's not as much development from Rey as I wanted in this movie. Again, I feel like she was such a little girl. If you rewatch The Force Awakens, like she has so many little girl attributes that she does and ways that she reacts to things that I wish we had seen more growth from her. But technically, this movie is supposed to only take place within maybe 3 days. Again, the time of this movie is very strange. It passes very oddly, so I'm not sure if that makes sense. But yeah, the timing, it's about 3 days that happens. So I guess there's not that much growth that could happen from some of these characters. Another note that's weird, but this will be for our cosplay people, the flight suits. So supposedly it's only a few hours between The Force Awakens and this movie. But for some reason their flight suits and their helmets change. I don't know why or how that happened. So if there's a way that you guys have retconned that for yourselves, I was trying to figure out a way that like, well, maybe because this whole thing got destroyed, they had to go to a different base and it has like older or different suits. I don't know. It's a question in my mind, or is it just to make the cosplayers angry? Because now you guys have to redo everything. Sorry, guys. Guess those Poe Dameron cosplays are gonna have to get updated. Because goodness knows Disney needs to make more money off of you buying stuff from their movie. Sorry. But there's some incredible fight scenes. We see a little bit more of the First Order weapons, which we saw some of, especially between Finn and his commander, not Phasma, but one of his other commanders that had like that cool, I don't even know what you call it, like the battering ram, like laser club thing. Like you see some more of those of like the vibrating like blades and that kind of cool stuff. We have some sweet like almost samurai red armor stuff going on with the First Order, which is fun. But yeah, there's some characters that come back that don't make sense. But I have not played the video game. If anybody else here has played the video game Battlefront 2, it actually is canon. The story is between like the different movies, so it supposedly fills in a lot of gaps. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so Nick is asking about the flight suits. Yeah, it seems like it changes right away at the beginning of the movie. They have different flight suits. And again, we're going to go see it a third time so I can confirm that. But I'm pretty sure right at the beginning of the movie, they like changed the flight suits for some, I mean, obviously from a professional standpoint, I understand that the costumers were like, we have to put our own like twist on this. And like, we're our own designers and we can't use the same ones. But at that point, if it's only, I don't know how it's difficult when we have, because I feel like back in the day, it was much easier just to have the same writer-directors on all three movies. But again, we had more time between the movies, so we wouldn't have this big of a change. I mean, the fact that there is a petition to make this movie not canon, and there's already over 20,000 people that have signed this, that's crazy. Like, how do you make it uncanon, though? Like, I don't even know how that's possible, because you can't, I mean, I guess Lucas did try to do that with the Star Wars Holiday Special, which if you haven't seen that, you can watch it on YouTube and then see me talking about it a couple weeks ago, either on this Facebook page or on our YouTube page, because goodness do I love that ridiculous, terrible holiday special. It's so much fun. But can you do that to this movie? No, it's in. It's done. Disney has your money. Don't worry about it. They're making a deal with Fox. They're happy. Like, just forget about it. We'll have J.J. Abrams back. It'll be great. This movie was even great. This was super fun. I can't wait to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I can't wait to see all the deleted scene stuff. It's gonna be awesome. I had so much fun. I was screaming, crying, laughing, the full nine, and making all of my friends very embarrassed to be sitting with me. So, sorry guys. I'm very loud and weird, if you couldn't tell. But, yes, so hopefully you guys have seen the movie. Hopefully you liked as much as I have. I haven't noticed anybody in the comments saying anything super negative about this movie, because I really liked it. I did not like it as much, but that's usually the way I feel about sequels anyways. Like, I don't think there's really a sequel that I have, like, been like, this is so much better than the first one. Like, if anything, I've liked it as much. I don't know. Okay, so Nick was, as you can tell, my cosplayer friends are getting very into this. They said it's subtle changes for the costumes. They moved, okay, so that's one thing I forgot to mention, is they moved Kylo's scar. Now, yeah, I agree with you, Nicholas, that people are babies. This is the middle film as well, so it goes in the full package. Yeah, I agree. I think once we have the third movie to add to it, it'll go together very well. Now, there's like little things that I can forgive, like Nick mentioned the scar, Kylo Ren's scar moves slightly. And I'm fine with that, because for somebody who's been scarred quite a lot, your scars move, like, as they heal. I don't mind that. And it's not as big a deal, because we didn't spend an entire movie with Kylo Ren and the cut. Like, we literally see it for, like, 2 shots, maybe, at the end of The Force Awakens, so that doesn't bother me. And it's weird because, like, as all of you know who've watched my other videos, I get very intense and passionate about things and about canon things and all that kind of stuff, but as you've also noticed, as long as you're not doing a prequel or something like that, I have a lot more forgiveness. I don't know why, but I do the same thing with Dragon Ball Super, with any, like, sequel. I'm like, but I still get to see it, and it's okay, like, everything's fine. So, like, let me know if I'm being a total hypocrite with this, but I'm fine with the Last Jedi. And my favorite thing about this movie is like, even the title is not what you thought it was. The whole, like, every nerd fan theory they threw out the window, and it's great because it's actually, a character literally throws something away at the very beginning of the movie. You're like, oh, okay, well, this is what this movie's about. Cool. So, just, if you haven't seen it, be prepared. It's not gonna be what you expected. It's not like the last movie. It's something new, and it's going into some very different problems that you would have when good versus evil, and there's a whole lot of gray involved. Just saying. Yes, it was Gary that pointed out suit changes, because both of you were wearing the suits to the midnight showing, so of course you were very hypersensitive to the flight suits of the Resistance. So, fair enough. But I honestly, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that's great. I read a whole article, and I'll find the link and put it in the comments, about the hyper-masculinity in this movie, but it's showing that it's dangerous, and that it's very well done throughout the movie, of just guys being a little too I'm a hero, and it's like, no, you're actually getting people killed. Just back it up a little bit, and try to, keep what's actually important alive, and that is hope. So I hope you enjoy the movie as much as I did. Please comment below on your feelings. We'll keep, like, discussing as the day goes on. Next week, I'll be back again to talk about the Doctor Who Christmas special. So much excite. And don't forget, our Nerd Rage Whiskey Wednesdays have been moved, and now they're Weekend Ragers, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. This week, they're going to have a special guest, David Nieves, and he's going to talk about video games. He worked with Sony for quite a long time on video games, so he has a lot to say about that. Going to talk about some Christmas stuff, some candy stuff, just to keep in the holiday cheer. But again, from England, thank you again for joining, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.